guys, welcome on back. All right, today we're going to make a gift box for all your pretty beadable pens. Now you can get some cases like this. They don't fit most of them. Like, I can take this out, but they don't fit, you know, even if you put that, whoops, get back on camera. So anything bigger is not going to fit. Like, it's not going to fit anything like that. So even this, it won't go in the proper way because you're supposed to have this in whatever. But you can make this one work, but just barely. So these aren't really, they're okay for this pen I have in the box that we're going to make. This one fit in there okay because it's not very, wide. But anything, this is an inch and a half, I believe. This is an inch and a half wide. And anything this big will not fit in any of these cases. So keep that in mind if you buy cases like this, that if you have a bunch of, different size, focal point beads and all that stuff, they're not going to fit. Now, it'll fit your basic gumball beads, but it's not going to fit these big focal things. I mean, it just barely fits this one. So we are going to, here's the sample that I made. And the cute little, all I had on hand was a couple Halloween ones yet, so that's what I have to show. I'm going to show you how to make that. They are so easy to make, guys. What you're going to need, I already cut the things out because we're going to spend the time scoring and cutting. I couldn't think of the word. So you need a piece of paper. It can be plain. It does not have to be designer paper. You can do plain paper. I did do a designer one here, but you can use plain color. It doesn't matter. So this is a 9.5 by 5.5. You will need that, okay? You are going to need, and you're not going to be able to see this very well, you're going to need a piece of acetate. There you go. That's 1 3/8 by 5.5. I'll go over the measurements again as we're putting it together. Then this is going to be the inside piece I have, because you don't want that flapping around. So what I made was a little piece that you can kind of tie down your pen to. That's what this piece is going to be. And that piece is going to be 1 3/8 by 6 1/4. So you got that so far. Simple enough yet? Okay, then we have this piece that's 5.5 by 1. What this is going to do is cut your window out. And then once you have your window cut out, you're going to have a template anyways. So you'll have this as your template. And so you won't need to have this. Just keep one of these as your template. And then you can always have your little side cut out. And the acetate I use, and I will link this in the description below, is this Duralar. And you get 25 sheets. And this one die cuts really well and everything. It's from Graphics. It's 9 by 12, 25 9 by 12 sheets. And they are protected quite well. And I'm getting down there. I have a few left. But I just put all my little scraps right in here too in the front. I usually put them in the front here. And do I have any scraps right now? Yes, I do. So I got some scraps right here. I just keep them in the front. The staticky. So that's, but you don't have to buy acetate like this. You can use acetate from your plastic, containers and stuff like that. So that's plenty. Okay. All right. Hang on one second. I'm going to shut this door. Okay, let's get started. This is so easy to do. Need a scoreboard. So let's take my scoreboard. And I want my other score tool. I like using the little ball ends instead. Let me bring this down just a little bit. I always go the wrong way, don't I? Here we go. Okay, so I have some little pet templates. You just stay over there and don't lose that acetate. Okay. First thing we're going to do is we have our 9.5 by 5.5 inch piece of paper. Okay, I have a template here for you. So the first thing we're going to do is we'll put our piece of paper in this way on the 5.5. And we are going to score down 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch, 3 inches, and 4 inches. So we're going to do that. Okay, so we're going to score at 1/2. Boxes are so easy to make, guys. Don't let them, this one's too big. Don't have my small one down here. So they are so easy to make, so don't get nervous by, you know, making a box. Yes, there's a lot of kind of engineering to make a box. I mean, you've got to take measurements, you've got to, you know, cut, you know, all that stuff. So there's a lot to go into it, but once you have made one, they're easy to make, and you'll understand how to make one. And I've done other tutorials on making boxes and stuff, so you know there's plenty out there. Okay, so we have that, right? Okay, so then I'm going to turn it to the 9.5 inch side. Now here I only want to score down to that first line. A lot of this is getting cut away anyway, so we're only going to score down to this first line. So as you can see, there's my first line. I'm just going to score down to there. So let's do that. I'm going to score at 1/2 inch just to that line. I can see it on the camera. Okay, that's all we want to do, 1/2 inch there. Then we're going to score at 1.5. 1.5. Then we're going to score at 8. Whoops, my 1.5 has to go all the way through. 1.5. Only the first one you need to go just down to the first line. Then this one, 8 inches, goes all the way down. Okay, and now remember your 9 just goes to that first score line. Okay, and I'll let you look at that again. Okay, so we just scoring, these are score lines, and we're just scoring right down to there. Okay, now we have it. We're going to turn it like this so that we have it with our partial score lines over to the right. These areas here that I have colored out, we don't want, so we're going to be cutting those away. Okay, so we're going to get rid of those. So the first one I'm going to cut away is right here, this small box right there. So we're going to cut that away. Make sure you take the score lines away too. We don't need those naughty little score lines. They just kind of like get in our way. And I want a little scissors. Those are too big. They don't. Okay, I'm going to cut that away. And this, I get such a glare here with these lights that it's harder for me to see. But just cut that away. So far you can see that's what we cut away. Okay, let's go down and cut the bottom one away also. Okay, and we're going to cut that one away. So now we have that, like that, right? Now we're going to skip this one and leave that one, and we're going to cut this one totally away. Okay, so skip the next box and cut that box totally away. Again, we don't need the score lines to add bulk to the remaining box. So we're going to cut those away. It'll just help make it fold a little better and stuff like that. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry if you don't cut straight. I'm not a perfect cutter. Okay, so now we have that. You can see how it's coming along. Now it's same thing on the bottom. And then I will give you the measurements when we're done to this box. Because if you have anything over, because I do have a couple focal pieces that are even bigger than 1.5 inches, I would have to make a different size box. Which I'm going to show you a trick on how you can make a bunch of boxes too, okay? Let's get to that. So this is what I'm going to be doing. Is because I had these on hand. But like I said, I can use them for my basic pens. But I can't use them for when I'm using all the really big, pretty stuff. And now, you know, they're getting so much in stock and stuff. So much, these different pretty ones and these big ones and stuff like that. So you want to be able to have a way of, if you're going to make it, you want to have a way of displaying it. If you're gifting it or if you're selling them at a craft show, making this box is costing you nothing. Like I can get two boxes out of a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. This, depending on how much you pay for your paper, you know, you can make it for, you know, quarter maybe, you know, and stuff. And it's just a little piece of acetate. So you can make them fairly cheap. Okay. Now I got to cut down my score line. So I'm going to cut, oh, I forgot that we need to cut these away. I forgot the, oh no, those are the fold ones. So Those are the fold ones. We don't want to cut those away, Jean. So that's all we have to cut away. But we do have to cut down the score line here. Cut down the score line there. Okay. And I don't want that little score line, so I'm going to cut it away. Because it's going to, if you leave it there, it kind of makes your box not close properly. So let's just we're taking just a little sliver out. We're just taking our score line out. We just took out our score line. That's all. See, and you can just see I got a little bit bigger gap. And you can see it's not perfectly straight. Who's a perfect cutter? Sometimes I am. But it's really hard with the glare of all these lights I have down here when I'm doing this on camera, because the glare is so bad on my paper and stuff that I just can't see properly. And I try not to bring it up to my face. Okay, so we have that so far. I'll match it there. These ones we're going to fold over is going to be our lips to fold our box in. But I want to take an angle, cut them just a little bit. Now, if you have a pretty little angle cutter like this, you can just go ahead. Now, let's see what size do we want to do it. So if you have one of these, you can go ahead and just, all we want is a cute little angle. I think I want the big one though. Let's see. No, let's try it with that one. But I think we'll just stick with the size. I can always cut it again. And if it doesn't go in properly. And then on this one, I just hand cut. So all I did was just go on an angle, which I'll show you on this one. We'll do one hand cut. One of them is gonna get taped in anyways. So I start right down here where your line is and just go on a little angle and chop like that. And they're gonna be tucked in, whether you use this as your top or bottom. Don't worry about it matching, because you can, see that it's gonna get tucked away anyways. Now this one, when you fold it, let me fold it quick first so you can show. This little 1/2 inch is how we're going to hook our box together. We want that 1/2 inch in the back. So it's going to go like this. So your box is going to fold down like this and tuck in like that, right? That's how you do it. So this front panel is where we're going to put our window. So put that edge to the back. It'll just make it look prettier. All right, let's take away our cutting board for a second, or our scoreboard, because I got to cut. All right, so now we have, if you have the template already made, all you have to do is stick it on there and then trace. But since we're starting this from the beginning, make sure I have the right template. Hopefully I can see. This may not be perfect because I'm trying to put my head in the window. We're just going to put that as best as we can in the middle, okay? So I know I got to go that way just a little bit. How's that look? A little bit more maybe. Okay. And I just kind of put the same amount around, Okay, and then I'm going to just go, whoops, I let go. That's okay, we're good. And then we're just going to trace around it. All right, good. And then if you have your lovely cutting mat and some kind of blade, this is my Cricut one. I have quite a few of these because some of them came in their mystery boxes also. So I'm just going to follow my line down. Don't get freaky if you go a little crooked. In the long run, it's not going to be that noticeable. Everybody's going to be looking at the pretty pen. And we're just going to cut that down. Oh, and I should have did that on the back side. So do that on whatever side, because I want my yellow side showing. So do that. I should have put it on the back side in case there's any pencil mark. But if there is any, we'll just erase it. Whoop, that I went crooked, but I can fix that one. Okay. Okay. And if you see any, like here, I missed the line a little bit, so I'm just going to go, or I can take my scissors and do that. I'm just going to clean that up a little bit. Other than that, I did pretty good. I see a little pencil mark there. I'm just going to erase a little bit. Perfect. So now you have this. Okay. Now we're going to do a hunt for our acetate because on this, you know, you can't see it. It's like, that's where I should leave it, right in the camera, you know, because you can see the glare. Now we're going to flip it over and we are going to put glue. Now I don't gob it on here because I don't want glue to seep over. So, you know, this is staticky, so I just kind of clean it up. All I'm going to do is put glue on the very edge because I made it big enough so that it would go, it's not a little over the sides. But I don't want to bring my glue in too far. I want to stick my glue right to the edge. Okay. And you don't need a lot of glue because you don't want it to, and this is just my art glitter glue. I put it in a little bottle, which I tend to like to use when I'm working with my vellum, when I would need a really little line, because I don't want too much to all of a sudden squirt out on me. Okay, now we're going to take this and try not to move it around. So find your spot and set it down. And right there. Now, the trick to when you're putting vellum on is to rub outwards, okay? So don't rub it to the inside of your window. Then your glue will spread away from the window. Okay? And then you won't have to worry about it unless you get glue on your finger and get some on the window like I just did. Yeah. Which wouldn't be the first time. Eraser usually works pretty good. Now we have our window, right? Okay. Okay, I have to make sure it's going to be dry. Don't play with it too soon like I'm doing right now. Let it dry. Okay. Now we can glue it together. Okay, so all we're going to do is glue. I've got to put a little bit more glue here. I didn't put enough glue down here, so I'm going to get a little bit more glue in here and glue it down again. Get my hands messy. Don't have a rag close by, but the eraser works pretty well if you catch it right away. All right, I think we're good now. Okay, so now is that on that side or the other side? I can tell which side it's on. Okay, it's going to. Okay, now we are going to just glue this shut. So we'll put some glue on there. And you can lay this down. I'll lay it down like this. Okay, and then we're just going to fold that over to meet that. And then you just want to make sure your edges are even. So I'm just kind of dry running it here right now. Okay, so now let's put our glue on there. The only thing I don't like about these bottles is that thing. Always gets in the way, right? I usually take it off when I'm not using it. Or when I'm using it, I mean. All right. How is everyone out there? Getting your Christmas crafting done? Work done? I got my shopping all done. Okay. Although I don't have like very many people to get for anymore. Pretty much just me, my daughter, my sister, and my girlfriend, my bestest friend. I got 2 girlfriends, my besties that we say. Okay. Now this paper can go either way. So you can choose your top or your bottom, you know. So I'm going to dry fit these. And if you have to cut these down a little bit, if they go over, you can. Mine are okay, but I'll show you. Just cut a little teeny weeny off like that. If they seem to hang over. Mine have been fine though. So let's run this and see how it fits in there. Okay. And then dry run this one. And perfect. Now you can decide which one. I think this one stays in better. This one I'm going to glue down. You don't need to glue the flap here. All I do is put a little glue on here just to make it sturdier. I just throw a little glue there and then put your flap in. Open it up and then take scissors. My scissors won't work, but my new ruler will. And then just flatten it down. Just gives it more support and it won't pop open on you. Okay. Now this finished side, we're not done. I'll put a pen in there. I don't have a yellow one. This finished size is 9.5. And then this way it goes 1.5. And then on the depth or whatever is 1 inch. Okay. That I followed out was kind of perfect for these 1.5 inch things. And this is 1.5 inches. And it'll still fit in there even with like a teeny tiny bit of room. Okay. I guess we're going to have to do orange. So now, where's my piece? That's not my piece. Here we go. Now I'm going to match the inside because the other sides will be, you know, so I'm going to flip it this way. You can flip it the opposite way if you want the yellow to match the outside box. Either way. So what I do is I set my pen on there and just put it in the, you know, right about where it's centered. Okay. And then I'm going to tie right up here. That's like how I have this one tied. I don't tie it through the beads. I just tie it right down here. So what I do is just kind of like eyeball a little where I'm going to put my hole. Okay. Now you can use any kind of hole punch or anything like that. I have this one. My big crocodile is my favorite. I've had this thing for many, many years. I don't do much not brad setting. What are those things called? Eyelet setting. I don't do much of that. 1/8. I do some, but I don't do a lot of it. I'm using the 1/8 hole is all you really need to do. And then just punch the hole in there. Punch the hole. Okay. And now, sorry, I do not have a pen that matches. So I took a ribbon that matches my bees, the closest I could find. They kind of match my bees. I did not have much ribbon that matched anything else. Because this is kind of funny green. I could have did just plain white, but, and it doesn't matter. Now if you don't have ribbon, don't use ribbon. If you have some of that elastic, like elastic threading will work. You can use, you know, really anything that you can tie with, you can use, you know, anything. String, whatever you want to use, you can use. You don't have to use ribbon or anything like that. That's what I have on hand. And that's what I think just looks really nice in the presentation because when I do sell my pens, I like to put it in some kind of container. You know, whether it's a box like this, whether it was something like this, and I would still tie a ribbon around this. You know, I'd still tie a ribbon so it stays closed. They don't stay closed the best if you're banging around. So I'd still tie a ribbon on it, or you can decorate these, whatever. But I've used other kind of cases. Like I've done pencil box things from Dollar Tree that I put the pen in and I put some other things in it. So you can, there's other things you can use besides making your own boxes or buying little boxes. But this is a quick, if you want to make up a bunch of them, if you make up a bunch of them, you put your acetate on and you leave them flat like this until you're ready to use one. So make up, like sometimes I'll take I'm totally out of boxes. That's why I need to make some, and I thought I would show you guys. But if you have a half a sheet of 12 by 12 left, or you have some, 8.5 by 11 that you really don't like the pattern too well, but it still be cute enough for box, make them like this, put your acetate on, and store them like that. They don't take up much room. You can put them in like a binder thing, a folder, anything, a clear plastic case. And when you need one for your pens to give away, you just take it and you just have to glue that. You're done. So that's how I do a lot of my boxes that way. I mean, I'm working on trying to organize this space down here a little better so I can show you guys, so it's not too disorganized. I mean, it's kind of like, it's not the worst organization. It's coming along, but it gets messy in between. Don't worry, it'll sit in just a minute. I'm just trying to tie my bow here. Okay, and then I'm going to clip. Not with those scissors. I need a new pair of, I love my honeybees. So I need to get some new ones. I think they have pink. Do they have pink? Do they have pink? I've had those for at least, no, I'm going to say these ones are probably 15 years. How long have these been out? That's probably when I got them. I had these when my husband was alive. I know I had these. It's like the first pair of little scissors I ever got when I really got into this crafting stuff. I mean, I crafted my whole life, but when I started like the cards and scrapbooking albums, stuff like that, then I got those scissors. So now you just slide it in there. And isn't that a pretty presentation? Now, if this doesn't stay closed tight, just take a little piece of decorative washi tape and put across there. Perfect. And if you, like I said, if you are selling them, if you want to put your little, thank you thing on the back. I know I got thank you, stamps and stuff like that you can do. But isn't that a better presentation than just handing them the pen, stuff like that? And you can make these, like I can take my Halloween paper and make Halloween boxes. I can, Christmas ones and stuff like that. So easy way. And I can't remember how much these were. I've had them for a little while now. So I can't even remember how much these were compared to just taking paper and making your own. Simple as that. And like I said, just keep this. This one was my first one, but if you're making your own template, mark on it some more, like write your score lines. Like I do have my markings on here, so for me, this is good. But if you need more like this type, I try to always make this type of template when I am showing you guys, because then you can just take some screenshots of it, stuff like that. But now I keep all this together, in a folder so that I have it on hand for myself. Because like I've been making a lot of newer size boxes lately too. But so there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If there's a box or something you guys, you need, there's an item you need a box for, if you want me to just let me know and I'll show you how to make it. They're very easy to make. All right, guys, as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.